just make you relax, make you guys a bit relaxed because things been so intense for today. So I'd like to play one of my
Thank you, Dr. Arya. Thank you very much.
Actually, thanks to you, this was not just a video, it's representing the expressions of all of us actually. If you have a look what he was doing there, he was dancing by heart and his smile, it was tremendous. So it's like, it is what all of us are feeling right now. So I'd like to come to the presentation topic.
Thank you.
It might lead to some conflicts because it represents few of my thoughts that I think that may be different from other educators. I chose the field of teaching and learning by purpose, and it was my motive to choose it. But and I was really enjoying it because I was inspired by one of my teachers, and he changed my life because I was one of the dumbest students in my class because I could not understand why are you studying. My father and my parents sent me for education, but I really was not like understanding why am I doing so. And the culture was just to mug up things and just not understand. So there was a teacher who came when I was in the 8th standard, and he then taught me something that completely changed my life towards education and things. He was telling all of us that a person sitting up in the front and backside, how come that both of them will think the same way? He was actually looking at the notebooks and he was saying, all the answers are the same. How is this possible? And that was the time that I started realizing things. That yes, it's something that I feel he's also felt it, and then he switched our personality towards learning. Okay, then after that, the problem was kind of, it was solved, but when I went into my university education, I then felt, okay, it's all useless. But okay, it's prestigious. I'm now in a well-respected institute. I'm teaching. If somebody would ask, okay, where are you studying? I would say UET, like someone would say FIU. So it was just that status, and the real sense I was not learning anything by heart. I was learning people were doing something because I did not have the motive. What is the motive behind me being sitting on the benches and people coming here and giving me tasks or not giving me tasks, and I not doing those tasks? That's why my bachelor's, my GPA is, I guess, lower than the room temperature as well. But because I really did not realize that it is important for me. But somehow I was trying to compel myself, okay, education is good because people are saying so. It was not satisfying my inner. Okay, then I went for higher education. I became part of the education system. I really started enjoying it. When I became part of the education system, I was improving my things. I received the best teacher award when I was in City University. And I thought, okay, I've done something bigger because I received this best teacher award. But everything was still empty inside. Then I received the PhD, I received the best researcher award, best presenter award, 3M3 presentation award, and there were a few more, and there was a gold medal as well. But it was the happiness of a moment only. And as soon as the day passed, I thought, okay, it was all in vain. What did I do? How can I visualize things that I did and is applicable in the world? So I was not actually happy with what was being done. I joined a university, then another university, then I was called by my dean in Malaysia, and she said that you can join us, work with us. I was enjoying it, but still empty. Then I received an offer from Park Austria for Schuler, and it was saying we are doing the applied things. And then the concept of universities of applied sciences came to me, and it was like somewhat satisfying myself. Otherwise, overall, I was saying that this education system is all in vain. It's not producing what we should produce. So, in the context of a country, even if I would say, the Higher Education Commission, they are giving a lot of funds to establish universities. But what is the outcome? Like Doris and everybody, every one of us, we are focusing on the outcomes. But we don't see the outcomes there. Okay, we are going to establish a lot of universities. Why? Why would somebody establish universities and put so much funds in it? Why? What is it producing? What is the aim? What is the goal? What are the mapping that you have done with the learning outcomes? I have somehow, till date, not found anything as such. So, what I think that in our country, if the Prime Minister would want to do something with the nation, and with the nation he would want to do two things, for example, to impart moral integrity and to uplift the economy of the country, which are the two major issues of our country. So now there is a problem, and for this problem, if the Prime Minister is seeking for solutions, so then if he proposes that, okay, we should have universities, not universities for the sake of universities and colleges, for the sake of colleges and for the sake of degrees, and so we would have a problem. Then we will see this as a solution. And then now everybody, every one of us is saying industry. We are connecting with the industry, and we need to be collaborating with the industry. Why again? Why do we need it? What is the importance of it? And everybody of us is doing it. But I would say it is needed, but in a way that we have some defined goals. I would like to relate it with our visit here. How many of us would know why did we come here? Like, we somehow have a blur idea why we come here from Pakistan to Austria. So to do what? Like, we've been funded, hugely funded, by the people who don't have clothes to wear, who don't have bread to eat. So we came here, so there should have been a motive behind, and there is a motive behind it, and some people know it. We also need to know it, and we somehow know it, but it should be very clear. So in the same manner, if there is a university and if there is a program, we need to define two, that is what I would want to do. Two things. Impart moral integrity. If I, being a teacher, somehow capable of imparting moral integrity in my students, that is enough for me. I don't want anything else as an output from him or her. If I'm successful in imparting the integrity in that, because it will, as a whole, uplift our society. And the second thing that I'd like to emphasize, that is actually the economy of our nation. So one of the major goal of our universities of applied sciences is economy, to boost the economy of the organization that it is related with. So I, being focusing on these two goals, moral integrity and the economic perspective. So based on that, what I think all the universities should be directed to it, and they should be working in this direction. So when we are looking at the umbrella, so in the umbrella, every pebble should be directing to the same goal. So in the same way, when I was teaching software engineering for the very first time, I'm not saying when I was studying, because when I was studying, everything was all useless. But when I was teaching, everybody was calling it as it is a theoretical subject. It is really not. Software engineering, actually it is intangible thing, so people don't see software actually, and they, the teacher would not focus on making interest of the student. And actually what a teacher can do, and what a student can do by learning and teaching this methodology, what will happen? It will boost the economy of the specific student as well. It will boost the economy of me being a teacher as well. So what I'm trying to do with my methodology is to bring all those tools together, like industry, the government, the students, and the universities itself as well. But in a proper way, in a different way, not in a proper, I would say it may not be a proper way. So I gave this presentation a title that Academic Industry, Academia Industry Amalgamated Applied Software Engineering. The subject that we have is Software Engineering 1 and Software Engineering 2. So I'll be proposing to a curriculum committee as well to revise this with the name, the Applied Software Engineering subject. And then,
Wow.
okay. Okay, I introduced 4 different teaching methodologies. And during my teaching career. So one was the skill-based teaching and evaluation for the human-computer interaction subject that yesterday I was referring to. The other was really relevant with the Rashid's methodology that was relevant to programming. Third was the mirroring industrial. That was the soft corner of the current thing that I'm doing. Like just mirror it and do it everything in the class. Now we'll be doing everything as a hard practices. So whatever we did there, we'll be practicing now. This is a class of 2017. We did a practice. I came up with an idea. Dr. Rashid was the then HOD where I was working, and I told him, okay, what if we try this way? We don't need exams. We don't need classrooms. We don't need books. We don't need slides and everything. I just want my students to do certain things that was in the methodology. And we said, yes, we can do this. And we emailed to the rector that time. And we were expecting that rector would say, no, this is against the law and this is not in the rules. And his email in the response was that you do it, you discuss with other head of the department and the coordinators as well, so they also applied. And what was the outcome of this methodology? We developed 17 products. 10, not we, I would say, the students. The students of 6th semester developed 17 products, and those products were captured by the social media, by the TV and print media as well, and they wrote 10 publications. I'll like to show the glimpse of what happened. I'll just forward it. This is actually the exam day. So everybody else in other subjects, they were giving exams, and now they are performing the skits. They are presenting the products, and these are some feedbacks. So these were some. I guess the time is short, so I'd like to skip back. So this was a methodology that was successful. Then there was another one that I recently practiced, was the sinusoiding. Actually, the learning things with the computer programming. So the computer programming thing is also really hard for people to understand. So what we did, let's make it easy on the very first day for everybody. Then let them deep dive, and then bring them back. So it would be like traveling all the way from that way. They will be sinking in the real programming, and then they will be visualizing, implementing things on the real project. I have a few photos, if you could see. Dr. Farooq, Dr. Sadia, and Dr. Saima, and one of our professor here. So actually, in that methodology, what we did, on the very first day, students developed games. On the last day, they applied things on the real robots. And then, it didn't end there. The students then taught the subject to the faculty from other departments, like Dr. Farooq is from biomedical sciences, Dr. Sadi is from chemical engineering, And there is another, Dr. Salma, although was from computing, but she didn't know about robotics. And these are our students teaching them. So it was another successful thing. And this was a competition. I was just umpire, and you will see the students fighting. So these robots are actually programmed by Dr. Farooq and Dr. Sadisha. And they don't belong to the Department of Computer Science or any computing discipline. So if you see, these are actually, okay, so these bots are actually programmed by the non-computing, and they are taught by those students. Okay, so now what I want to do with the current methodology that I'm trying to propose, it's these are the learning outcome, but I would like to come directly focus on. I'm not sharing the complete methodology with all of you. And there is a reason for that. Because I discussed with Doris as well, since we are going to publish it, and there are collaborators involved in it, so I'll be sharing few extracts from the methodology with you. And that is, a teacher should not be a teacher, one thing. A teacher should never be a teacher in the classroom. He should be a mentor, he should be a coach, he should be an observer, and he should be a facilitator. If I come here and start speaking and speaking and speaking in a classroom, so what would happen? I'll be a traditional teacher. Actually, the mentor, the facilitator, teacher in its definition has a lot of keywords. But what I'm trying to say is, the teacher should not be considered as a teacher that we consider as traditionally. A teacher should be facilitator, a mentor, and that is where when I was discussing imparting the moral integrity in the students. A teacher might possibly do it, but the facilitator and mentor would definitely do it. And then the lust of learning. I cannot compel students by grades and by any such means that currently we are practicing. Okay, you will get 4 GPA if you sit in the class and listen to all my boring lecture. So it wouldn't happen that way. Unless they want to come to my lecture and they want to sit and they want to learn, that would be productive. So how would that happen? I would give them the motive behind it. And that motive behind that is, like for all of us, if I tell Naveed, okay, Naveed, you will have a chance to earn $1,000 after this course. Or if I ask Ayaz, so you have an opportunity to earn a lot of money after this course. And if there are more people, so there will be a motive behind it. So they will be coming and trying to learn. It will not be me doing the things for them. So I'll be imparting the last must be there from the students. And then definitely internationalization. I'll be connecting the students not with the people who have the same mentality, who have been through the same mentality, who have been experiencing nothing new. So that is why I'll be connecting them with some international institutes, organizations, and some companies. I'll show it to you. So internationalization is a must, just to let them know that there are a lot more things in the world, and they must look beyond their shells. And then industrialization and industrial linkages. These are two words. Industrialization means they, at the end of this course, will be an industry, these students, and I'll tell you how. And then through the international industrial linkages, and then envisioning them. We must be envisioning our students. Like, the student must have a vision. I ask usually my students of any level. I've asked this from masters and PhD and bachelors. Okay, why do you want to study software engineering? And they are completely speechless. They say, everybody is doing it and I'm doing it. So they don't know what to do, and they are not capable to think beyond their shell. So I'd like to make all the students envision. They should have a vision that what do they want to achieve in a typical period of time, and why are they doing something. And I will be compelling every student to do the cost-benefit analysis of everything. And I mentioned this in one of my presentations as well. And that is the moral training that will be part of every of our session. So the teaching methodology extracts has a few more things. It will be one cohort, and in the one cohort, I'll divide them in 10 subgroups. Each group may have equal number of students, and in that cohort, I will give them 10 domains. Domain about what? Because since I'll be making them to develop 10 products, I'll make them develop 10 products, but I'll not putting them in a blind night and tell them, okay, find it. I'll show them something, I'll give them the domain that I will choose, like a domain in e-learning, for example, a domain in interactive design, for example. And then I'll let them choose something, propose something, work on it, and then at the end, they will be developing 10 projects, but these 10 projects will not be enough because we do these projects in each and every subject. It must lead towards a startup, and that would be a must, and I'll discuss this in the evaluation as well. If the project that they develop in software engineering, it is not spinned off, job is not done. Because the software engineering concepts can be learned from a book, but the software engineering concept, when applied, should be visualized, should be seen as a hard product, should be utilized by the industry, and that is one of the major motivation behind it. And that is how I would achieve the economical perspective of what I was saying. Okay, the students of second year will be participating in it. I was sometimes trying to choose students from 6th semester because they will have learned few programming languages. But then I realized the sooner I would be capable of changing their mentality towards applying things, that would be better for all of us. Because it's not what they will actually be hard coding things. I'll be playing with the minds, with their innovations, and they may come up with the idea. One of the team members may be practical, so they will be doing things and the students of BS Software Engineering will do the job. I'm bringing the organization, industries, and universities to work together because I'll not be executing this course alone. There will be industries participating with me, and I discussed this with these mentioned industries. Rapid is an industry. We visited them. They were really excited what we were discussing with them, that we'll be sending our students, and some of them can be participating with us in teaching, not only involving them in any other activity, in teaching. So I have divided all my modules based on the seminars and trainings. So there will be people from industry, like Rapid, and not only participating as trainer, but they will be giving funds as well. They will be facilitating the students for pitching of the ideas as well. And there are Rapid, iFast, the Selmi Foundation, Dushal and I, these are actually two incubators which will be connecting these students to others as well. And the faculty startup, these all faculty sitting in this class, there is a kitty fund for all of them, and if they go with an idea to our institute, they will be given an opportunity to launch their own products. But there will be a compulsion. I and Dr. Fazli have been working on a policy where we are compelling them that each of the faculty startup must accommodate a certain number of students from our organization. So this subject, the thing that we need is being fulfilled by the startups of this faculty. Then the startups coming to our technology park, so we can train these things in-house, we can utilize the in-house facilities. We have the companies that I talked to. There is another company, 3 more international companies. I've talked to Robert Bosch as well. I've talked to Haier and Huawei as well. They are also establishing a lab for us for free, basically, for our organization, because we purchase the items from them. Then we discuss the possibility that how can we fund our students. So that can be useful for that. And we actually will be using the experts from them. And then we have universities, the partner universities that will be participating, that is the FIU, MCI, I discussed with the mentor of this methodology, because I selected a mentor for what I'll be doing. I will not be the complete mentor of the methodology. So I discussed with Johannes Haas that can he help us mentoring and observe the whole session that we will be doing. So he said yes, and he gave us an opportunity, and he discussed that I can connect you to University of Waterloo, Canada. And that is not only the university, the Waterloo University, they last year accepted 100 internees, so internationally. So we have a hope that we may possibly connect with them physically, and we can actually engage them with the software engineering subject as well. And we have NAS communities in Pakistan. These are a few of the industrial engagements and government academic engagements that I talked to. I will share some more details about them as well. So I discussed with them. There are a lot more photos and pictures of the discussions, but I showed a few. And this is the industry that we visited. He is the CEO of a very good company in Pakistan that I discussed, the Rapid. And he is really motivated to even open one of the franchise in our own institute, that for the sole purpose of facilitating our students. So the gap that we usually have with the industry, I've tried to solve it kind of. So we'll not be having any problem with the industry. With the academia as well, and the international partner as well we have, and we have the government support as well. We discussed things with the ambassador, and the ambassador was more motivated than me when I discussed the idea with him that we can connect, I text you as well, that we can connect with the Chamber of Commerce, and he was motivated, and he was saying if there is a possibility that on first when he's coming to our graduation ceremony, then he said we might go along and meet the Australian Chamber of Commerce to discuss further possibilities. So we have government with us, we have universities with us, and we have industries with us, and we have students and teachers definitely with us. So these are the HR from FIU Anium that I talked to. I took consent that mentor and observer would definitely be Johannes Haas. I discussed with them, and he's such a nice person. I told him I'll not be paying you any money, but if in any instance you would need my services, I'm available. And this was my statement to all of the collaborators that I talked to, and I told them that we cannot financially support any of your contribution, but I'll offer my services if you would need any for a seminar or a training inside Austria. So I talked for it, since I mentioned internationalization in one of the core aspects, I discussed with Sophia, and she's a really good person. Another advantage for me would be, it's not the Austria only, she's from Portugal, so she might discuss a few more things she might give some more culture to my students. Then there is Gerhard. He's actually working with the industry, and he's working with the institute in FIU Anium in the Kathmandu campus. And I was really impressed from what he was doing. He has his own company, he has his own startup. He's been working with the industry previously, and now he's teaching as well. So what we are doing, we participate with us on the very last day, because last day would be the day of exhibition. I'll discuss later on as well that in the exhibition, it will not be teaching and learning in the traditional sense. The products that they develop, there will be an exhibition, and that will be their exam day actually. And these companies from around the world will be watching us, coming to us, from our locality will be coming to us. And later I will discuss that it will be must for the students that their project is pitched off. If it is not adopted by even a smaller domain, they will not get through this subject. And then she will give a talk on it. Then there are people from MCI. I met this Dr. Michael. He's one of the most amazing person that I met in Innsbruck. His presentation was real short, and it was very interesting. And he was one of the, like, if someone would tell me that if you would want to meet one person in Innsbruck, who would that be? It would be Michael, because he is one of the useful person. And I discussed with him that is it possible that we engage you for some of the activities. He provided his consent. Then there is another one for software engineering and entrepreneurship, because that specific school is for entrepreneurship. Then for the open source software engineering things, we met another person from Germany. He is an associate professor working now with MCI, but he's from Germany. So the internationalization sense would come, and he's a real nice guy. He extended his help in many other directions, even with Dr. Nazir as well. So there are two more people. She's Ubexa. I discussed with him one of my projects that I learned from Saudi Electronic University, because her domain is e-learning. So I asked her if she can be part of that. She was happy being part of it. Then she said, we can jointly write a proposal as well. So her consent is already taken as well. And for some training and tools, like Dr. Saima mentioned about the few facilitating tools for the students, like I forgot the names. So for this, she was actually training us there. So I'd like to invite her for some of those activities. And she's already provided the consent as well. Evaluation would be kind of different for this, because there usually is a problem that students complain about. They say, okay, we accept the innovation that you bring to us during teaching, but why do you want us to appear for exam in a traditional way? So it is a very right concern. So what I would want them to be evaluated on the basis of deliverables. So if they have deliverables, they'll go through this. Each member of the group will perform different roles. The roles will be based on the round robin. For example, if there are five people in a group, so each group member will be performing different roles. For a week, Naveed is, for example, is from the group, will be project manager. There will be someone collecting the requirements. There will be someone doing the documentation. There will be someone doing the implementation, and the roles will be switching. And
excuse me, I think we should come to the end.
Yeah, it's almost ends. Yeah. So
We can have this after the lunch break, maybe.
Each member of the team will present a report, and the three most important things are they have to pitch their ideas, the projects, to at least 3 venues, the least 3 venues. And I will give rubrics of marks for this as well. Like there are usually every month there are competitions in Pakistan. So they will go to the competition and just pitch it, just present it. So they must do it for 3 times at least. And the project must be spent off. It must be spent off even if someone buys this for 100 rupees, but it must be spent off. And then there is the final exhibition that will happen. A few of the takeaways from this subject would be, from this final report would be, the national international collaboration that we will have together. Then I'll write 2 papers on it. I discussed this with the collaborators. First, the concept of the methodology that I discussed a few extracts with you. The concept will be published in a renowned journal of computer education. And after that, the real sense would come that we would write an Erasmus Plus proposal, and the same methodology practiced in Pakistan, it would be practiced if the proposal is approved. It would be practiced in Austria, and it would in UANIUM, and possibly in MCI, just to validate our results. And after those results will be the post-experimental result. I have targeted the IEEE in transactions and software engineering. And then Erasmus proposal that I discussed, I'll be writing, and there will be 10 spin-offs. If there are no exact 10 spin-offs, if there is 9, it means a group has failed. If there are 8, 2 groups has failed. If there are less than 5 spin-offs, I would have failed. So I would let this happen, that 10 on 10 spin-offs should come out of it, and then at least 10 products from that. These are a few of the traditional things that we need from the management. Some early morning support from the friends for this presentation. And this is the hope that we all have. That yes, the question that I asked from Dr. Babu and everybody, that are we taking along the things that we really wanted to our country? We might have not achieved a lot, but we have achieved so many things. And Dr. Nazir mentioned to the mass, and Yes, definitely. Few of us are definitely going to that. So there are stars beyond the moon, but in Urdu there is a saying, they say सितारों के आगे जहां और नहीं है.
खोते दा
तो
सिरे.
वो कहते हैं कि there are worlds beyond the stars. So we can actually achieve that, and we are actually taking a few things with us in our pockets. So if there is any question, any, if any, can do anything.
I have a question. I actually agree with your goal is quite interesting, but at the same time, what I'm curious is that it is a lot more resource intensive for the student. There is there could be a conflict of time or resource management from the student side, right?
Yes.
Your approach is very good indeed, but it is a lot more time intensive. So if one student is investing so much time in that subject, and it is again, trying to bring something out. Of course, it is beneficial in the end because you are, trying to make something. But at the same time, if one of the guy or one of the group is not interested, for example, in your subject, right, that does not give you a spin-off, right? But on the academic end, right, on the academic end, I have a compulsion to do your course to get the degree. And for your course, I have a compulsion that I have to make, some product out of that. So that's, very intensive nature of.
I agree, and I have faced this before. But the thing that there was a thing mentioned by Johannes Haas, we'll have to get out of the comfort zone if we want to achieve something bigger.
Yes.
So the comfort zone must be broken. It should be broken. So if it is broken, then we can go and think beyond that. And then it is not resource. If we look at the time that I would let them write a report, it will almost take the same time. Actually, the time that they have in the whole week, like 3 hours, 3 plus 1 hour, 4 hours actually. With a lab would be 6 hours it would be. So industry is coming to them and they are going to the industry. They will not be doing any assignments and quizzes in the traditional way. All they will be doing is to show the deliverable at the end of every week.